Darklings! So today I wanted to talk about self-confidence and self-image and a few other related topics. I've sort of brushed up on this before, but it's been a couple of years and I kind of wanted to reiterate and clarify and expand. So generally speaking, for self-confidence, I go off of the very simple principle of if someone's judging me, I just say fuck it. I just keep it pretty simple. But that being said, middle school invisibility kind of never goes away. And I know it's an odd way to put that, but in elementary school and in middle school, I was kind of invisible. I was very unassuming looking. I didn't talk much. I'm really introverted. And people ignored me. Like, I'd get sat on. Like, people didn't realize I was there a lot. And so it's really weird for me now to remember what I look like because apparently I'm memorable and I forget that a lot. And when I go out running errands, I have the don't talk to me face on because I want to go get what I'm going for and then go home because my favorite place to be is away from people. And then people ask, like, oh, well, if you don't like people, then why do you look the way you do? It's like, well, I like this way because I like the way that I look for me, and it's entirely immaterial what other people think of it. But because appearance is noticed not just by me, but everyone around me, there are some hiccups with this idea. So I forget that I am distracting, I forget that I am memorable, and I forget that for all intents and purposes I'm apparently conventionally attractive, and I forget this stuff and just expect to be able to go about my day, and sometimes I'm interrupted. And you know what? Whatever. It's fine. I still am not used to it. Even after being blue-haired for more than 5 years and planning on keeping it for quite a long time, I forget that being tall and black-clad, tattooed, all that kind of makes you stick out, especially in a relatively not exciting state such as Utah, where I live. And it's kind of hard getting judged by your appearance, and it's not like I don't expect it to happen because usually countercultural, fringe cultural, niche stuff, you get noticed. People think you're interesting, especially people who are of the more conventional variety are amused by the non-conventional. They think of it like a novelty. It happens. And a lot of times I can let that shit go because if I didn't let it go, I would be more bitter than I need to be. But another thing that kind of irks me, and I got after a couple people about it in perhaps not entirely the correct way, I have had some comments that are kind of derogatory about my appearance, usually about physical attributes and being sexualized, which I very, very, very much do not like. And I have a very intense love and fascination with pinup culture, burlesque culture, fetish culture, and the aesthetics of that. And I am fully championing the people for expressing their sexuality and for their love of sex and all of that, but that is not my shtick. It's not my deal. I have other things that I prioritize, and that isn't my thing. So I don't care that people want to be free about their sex lives. I don't care. I'm not repulsed by sex, but I am not interested in it, and I do not like being sexualized. I do not like being hit on or flirted with, and a lot of times I've ended up being accidentally mean because I didn't recognize someone was flirting with me, and my subconscious decided to attack them without my express conscious permission, which is unfortunate. But I don't like being sexualized, and it's why I don't wear more of the stuff that I have more interest in. And I've pushed the boundary a few times, apparently, as I've had to be reminded. But I really do love the whole burlesque and pinup culture. I love thigh-high stockings and garter belts and corsets, and I love Dita Von Teese and Miss Mosh and Lily St. Cyr and Betty Page and Gil Elvgren paintings, and I love all this stuff because I find it incredibly fascinating, and it's a very interesting, aesthetically pleasing form of feminine sexuality, and I love it. I do. But I don't like people sexualizing me, and I know this is repetitive, but I don't like the comments that come associated with it. And it's one thing to think that someone is attractive. It is another thing to say something that is sexualizing and derogatory at the same time. I don't like reading comments that make me uncomfortable. and belittle me down to my physical attributes, because my intent with my videos consistently is about relaying information. And I like the comments where people say that they like hearing what I'm talking about, because that makes me feel really good. And I like my validation to be about my brain, not about the rest of me. If it's about my intelligence or it's about my art skills, then I love that. I don't want feedback on my physical attributes. And you know what? Some people do, and I don't judge them for it, but that's not something that I want. And part of being feminine is getting this kind of attention, which is annoying and uncomfortable. And you know what? Some people really do need validation from their appearance. I know people like that, and I let it go, because that's their end goal. My end goal is to get validation from things that I have created, things that I am responsible for, not my genetics. And I have the height and the weight that I do because of genetics. I spend all of my time working on things. That's what I do. That's why I can draw relatively well, and why I'm relatively smart is because I read, I research, I draw, I paint, blah, blah, blah. This is not a new info kind of thing. But I just kind of wanted to make this a note. If you get self-confidence from yourself, like by looking good, because I've noticed that even on a shitty day, a good outfit can make me feel better about the day. Um, or if you need validation from other people, I don't care, as long as you are able to make yourself happy with what you've got and what you can make and what you can attract. It's all good. But this is pretty much just a don't unnecessarily uncomfortably sexualize people, and well, basically, as always, don't be a dick. Just plain and simple, try and respect people and remember that they're people and not objects. So, this is kind of a awkward one, but yeah, pretty much stop sexualizing people that don't want to be sexualized, because as an ace person, that's really uncomfortable. Till next time, darklings.